today for my video, I'm going to be doing my first makeup look for you. So today what I was thinking is I'm going to be using my Glamierre-New Dreams eyeshadow palette. And the rest of the stuff that I'm going to be using is all of my favorite products. So you shall see what they are. All right, let's get started. All right, so I'm going to start with my primer. I've already done my makeup skincare routine, obviously. So I have my moisturizer on and my sunscreen. So now I'm going to go in with my Milk Hydro Primer. Like I was saying in my first video, I sweat so much being in Arizona, in the summer especially. And what I've noticed is if I use a sponge, my primer doesn't even sit on my face and I don't get that tackiness that I need from it in order for it to stay on. I will be honest, the moment that this video is over, I'm going to be taking this off because my skin is super dry and I don't want to dry it out anymore. I would like to give it some rest before I have to go back to work. Finally. So, done with that step. Now I am going to go in, because I'm doing my eyes today, I'm only going to go in with my foundation. The foundation I'm choosing to use today is the Dior Forever. This is in the color 2N. Hey guys, I also forgot to let you know that everything I'm using in this video is going to be linked in the description box below, so go check it out. Alright, and then for my foundation, I just do like 2 or 3 pumps on my hand, on the back of my hand. And for this, I will go in with a beauty blender. This is the beauty blender I got from Real Techniques. I love their beauty blenders. They're super cheap, and I think they work just as fine as anything else. And normally with makeup, and something that I've learned throughout the years of doing makeup, is that you should start from the middle of your face and work your way out. Because generally that's where people want the most coverage. Now that might not be the same for everyone, but that's just a general statement. This foundation especially is way full coverage. You'll see with a few thin layers how different my skin looks. Yeah, full coverage is definitely my favorite. And this is like a perfect match to my actual skin tone. All right, and then I'm gonna bring a little bit down on my neck just because I have that like redness right there. Alright, so I'm done with my foundation. Now I'm going to start my eyeshadow. And when I'm doing my eyeshadow, what I like to do, just because it makes it easier for me, and I actually started doing this pretty recently, is use some Scotch tape to get that like winged effect. Now that I have both of my pieces of tape on, I'm going to go in and start my eyeshadow. So, like I said, today I'm going to use the Glamierre-New Dreams palette. This is a pressed pigments palette. I also have their loose pigments that I love. This is the palette. So beautiful. I want to do kind of an edgy look. So before I start doing that, I'm going to go in with some primer for my eyelids. I like to mix my primers. So I'm going to be using the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and Eden. This is like the cream colored one, like the skin color. And I'm also going to go in something that changed my makeup game. The Louise base in a white. This is amazing. If you have not purchased these, you must go online and purchase them right now. If you want to up your shadow game, go online and purchase these. They are amazing and they're cheap. They're like 10 bucks for one. And I put it on with a brush. Alright, so I'm just going to take it on a flat brush. This is the Morphy M432 brush, and then I'm just going to put it all over the lid. I do use this as well for cut creases. It's perfect. I feel like it shapes it really well. I also like to use kind of a curved flat brush when I do my cut creases just because it gets that curve a little bit better. But I feel like if I use the side of this one like that, it's easier to do like a perfect line. Alright, so after I applied the Louise base, Like I said, you only need a little because I only put a tiny bit on my hand and I still have extra. I'm also going to go in with a tiny bit of the other 2 primers just to give my actual a little bit more tacky consistency. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna let this sit here for just a little bit, just so it can kind of set and get tacky and it's not wet when I start putting my eyeshadow on. So I'm gonna build up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this like pastel pink right here and put that a little bit above my outside crease area. So this brush, also I forgot to tell you, is a super old brush, but it's stayed tried and true. It is a Makeup Works brush. Now that I have that color on, I'm gonna go in with this neon pink to give it a little bit of dimension, and then I'm gonna start going into the purples. Now with this neon pink color, I'm not gonna go as high up, and we kind of wanna layer them staggered to give them that dimension faded out ombre look. Ooh, yes. Okay, so now I am using the Morphy M330 brush. This is a little bit fluffier at the tip. So I'm pretty much using the pink as my transition shade as well. Now I'm going to get into the purples. So first I'm going to take the light pastel purple and I'm gonna go in with my Morphy x Jaclyn Hill JH33 brush. I love this set. I bought the entire set when it came out. I love it. I buy brushes like I buy foundations and stuff. It's ridiculous. I buy so many. All right, and with this one, we're going to go into the crease in windshield wiper motions. Now, when you hold your brush as well, this is a very important thing to remember. So many people mess this up. When you are holding your makeup brush, you see where I'm holding it? At the end of the brush, farthest away from what part of the brush you're putting on your eye. So when you're doing your eyeshadow, if I have my hand right here and I'm like that, just windshield wipering, do you see how uneven that gradient is right there? The reason for that is you have so much pressure that you're applying when your hand is this far up on the brush that you can't get an even, nice, really light stroke. The reason why that happens, like I said, is because you have so much pressure up here. You need to hold your brush back at the end and just use really light windshield wiper motions. You also always want to tap off your brush before you go in with the shadow, so then you don't get as much fallout. Okay, so you see the little gradient that we have going on here? Okay, so we got that like pastel and hot pink, and then we had that purple. Ooh, that's pretty, I like it. Same thing in the crease. I'm gonna grab this purple that has kind of a pink undertone to it, that one right there. What I'm gonna do with that dark purple is I'm gonna follow that. I'm gonna make a little V with windshield wiper motions. Now I don't want them to be overlapping because I wanna have a little bit of a gradient of color on the inside. Now I'm going to go in with a Morphy E22 brush. This is much fluffier. And I'm gonna leave it naked. I'm gonna leave it without product on it. And I'm gonna go in there and try and blend out some of that color, especially that pink up at the top, so there's not that like really harsh line. Now that I have blended that out a little bit to my liking, I'm gonna go in with the blue now. So I'm going to go in with my Morphy M167. This is the brush, it's a little flat thing. This I'm going to use to just stamp the color on. And the blue that I'm going to go in with is going to be, again, another pastel. This little pastel blue right there. You know what? I don't like that color payoff very much. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to not really do a cut crease, but a little bit. And I'm going to take my Louise base, the white one again, put it on the back of my hand, just because if I don't have a color payoff with that color, it's just going to look kind of murky. And I don't like that. See, now that that's white again, I just want it to be like a really white base so the blue really shows up. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with that blue with my Morphy M167. Oh, that is so much better. So now I'm going to go in with the Morphy. There's literally no number on it. I think this came with the eye brush set. There's like 4 or 5 brushes in it. This came with that set. I can't remember specifically though, and it doesn't have a number on it. But this is a Morphy brush as well. It's a little bit fluffy at the top. Now for this, I'm going to go in with a deeper blue, give a little bit more gradient, and then I am going to go back in with the purple. So for the blue, I'm going to go in with this top one right here. So this is the Morphy M506. It's a tiny, tiny brush. This is going to be good for precision, and I also use it for my under eye waterline. All right, and then I'm going to go back in with my Morphy 330 brush. So for the inside of that little V where we put the original purple, I'm going to go back in with this darker purple and blend it into the dark blue. Now I'm going to go back in with that light blue on that same flat brush and blend in a little bit more to that dark blue. Now again, these are pressed pigments, so they take a little bit more finessing to kind of get the color payoff that you want when you've blended it out. With the Morphy x Jaclyn Hill JH40 brush, I'm going to go in with this. It's a little bit darker than that pastel, that blue. Alright, so I'm going to finish the other eye, and I'm probably not going to speak through it just so I can get it done pretty fast. Alright, now the last thing we're going to do on the inside corner of the eye, we're not finished with the eyes yet. The last thing that we are going to do is add a glitter, because I love glitter. Now this is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner palette. Listen, I don't really use this as an eyeliner. Actually, I did the other day, but I normally use it just to feather it on my lid. This is what it is. I love it. I have it in a bunch of different colors. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to feather it on the inside of my inner corner. I think I'm going to use this water activated liner by Glamierre. It's UV pastel liners. This is in the color Sugarcane. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up under my eyes really quick with my beauty blender. Okay, and then what I'm also going to do is I am going to take a little brush and a different palette. I can't remember which palette it is. I have lots of them. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to take this Juvia's Place, the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place palette, and I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to take it on my Morphy M433 brush, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with this, just to kind of blend it in with that pink. So for concealer today, I'm going to be using the Dior Forever Skin Corrector. This is amazing. My color is 15N. Yeah, 15N. And then contour. Where's my contour stick? This is the Fenty Beauty contour stick in the shade Amber. I'm going to go down in the hollows of my cheeks. Now, contouring is different for every person, every face shape. Look up your face shape if you don't know how to contour, and it will give you kind of an idea. And if you don't know what face shape you are, look up different face shapes, and it'll give you this little piece of paper that you can print out and compare your face shape to it. Okay, so for me, I like to cut off the sides, a little bit on the side here, and then down the sides of my nose, a little bit right there, and then right here, underneath my lip. So, for the lighter one, I'm going to go in with this beauty blender. Okay, so I'm going to blend. Now I'm going to switch back to my Real Techniques beauty sponge. This is also the Sephora brand beauty sponge. I love it because it's really dense. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I am going to set my face. There's absolutely no need to bake. Baking just makes you look cakey. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and put a tiny bit on the top of my beauty sponge. That's the only place I'm gonna dab it on like that. Then I'm going to grab my Sigma Kabuki 4D HD brush. This is awesome. I love this brush. It's like a really weird brush, but I'm gonna dip it in there, tap it off. Now the only place that I will kind of like set it like that is the bottom of my jawline, just to give it a little bit more definition when I do that contour. You see how you can see that kind of like color right there? I'm gonna set my forehead. Now I'm done with that brush, and then I'm going to get a bigger brush, swirl it around in the lid, tap tap. Now I'm going to finish the under eyes of my makeup really quick, which means I am going to take this little brush here, and then the Glamierre-New Dreams palette again. Now what I have decided is I'm going to do the pink and the purple color underneath. I'm going to do the hot pink up in the corner again and try and tightline it on the bottom of my lash line with the very tip of the brush. Okay, now I'm going to go in with that darkest purple. And try and smoke out the bottom lash line. I'll show you what I'm saying when I'm done. So now our eyeshadow is done. Now we just need to add the eyeliners and my eyeliner brush. So I just got 2 new ones and I love them. It is the Morphy M217. So I'm just gonna dip it in the water, which I just put in the cap right here. I went in with my ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in the color Icebreaker, just on the waterline. Now we're finally done with the eyes after an hour and 30 minutes. I will edit the video so it won't feel like that, but definitely was. Now I'm going to go in with my Hule Benefit Bronzer. And this is just going to go over the parts of my face that I contoured. And I'm also going to use my Sigma Large Powder F350 brush. Or F30 brush, sorry. So now I'm just gonna take the Hule bronzer again and go down the sides of my nose with it and then blend it in. Okay, now we're gonna go in with one of my favorite blushes, which is the Tarte blush in the color Captivating. It's like a peachy color. And then I'm also going to go in with my Sigma Multitasker brush. This is the F47. Once we are done with that, we are going to go in with our final step, other than lips, which is highlighter. And we're going to take the e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist In Set and my Sigma Extreme Culture Contour F04 brush. Spray your face and the blush, and I'm going to use the Juvias Place Cleo Loose Highlighter. Contour the bow of my lips, a little bit on the chin, all in the highest points of your face. All right, now we're gonna go in with a lip. This is my Morphy lip crayon in the color MCN, Manicures Monday. That's the finished look. Everything I use will be listed in the description box below. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, just leave them down below as well, and I will try and get back to all of you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I hope you guys like this look. Bye! Alright, this is my baby. Hi, baby. She's really dirty. She has to go to the groomer next week. I love you. I love you. All right, go play.